What's up, guys? It's Flaunk, and this is my third Jet Tips video. This one's going to be about air superiority. It's not going to get too specific. These are just going to be kind of general mechanics and tips and how air superiority plays and how to do well. This gameplay was one of my first games that I played in air superiority, so it's not that great. I do use heat seekers. I'm sorry, I don't use heat seekers anymore. But it was like my first or second game of air superiority, so I just wanted a gameplay. So first thing off, I didn't like show you guys in this gameplay, but right at the beginning of a game, a lot of people just kind of go like level and fly straight towards the objectives or go for enemy planes. And that's all right, but I mean, you're really you're rolling the dice there because you just don't know how many enemies are going to come your way, and you might not be able to handle them all. So what I do is right off the beginning, I go straight down, really low to the ground, low enough to be using below radar, and I kind of fly all the way across the map, constantly looking around to see if anyone sees me. But you're going to try and just sneak over probably close to where the enemies spawned, and then you're going to turn around and take a kind of a step back and look at the map and where all the jets are, your team and the enemy team, and then go from there. And when you're near that enemy spawn, it's really helpful if you look around in the cockpit. And the way you do that is on Xbox 360, you hold down the down button on the D-pad and you use the thumbstick to look around. On PC, I'm pretty sure it's the right mouse button and just look around. I'm not sure what it is for PS3, but yeah, 'cause like you don't want to be constantly spinning around looking for enemies, 'cause you might miss something, and it's a lot easier just to look around in the cockpit and see what's around you, especially when you're near the enemy spawn, 'cause they're just gonna be popping up out of nowhere, and it's easy for someone to get on your tail. And if an enemy is in your spawn in air superiority, I mean, you can't really get mad at them because that means that they're single-handedly holding off your entire team while you are all spawning like all around them. So props to anyone who can do that for a good amount of time. And back to heat seekers. Like if you've played air superiority, then you know that like everybody uses heat seekers, and it gets pretty annoying. So a problem you may run into is like not knowing which countermeasure to use. You got flares, ECM, and extinguisher. I wouldn't recommend extinguisher for reasons I'll explain later, but ECM and flares both work really well. ECM, especially if you know how to use it, can work really well. But only use ECM if you know how to dodge missiles using ECM. Don't just prevent the lock using it, because then they can still lock onto you really fast once your ECM's gone, and then fire the missiles at you, and you can't really do anything about it. So if you're not that great with ECM, then use flares, because it allows them to get rid of their heat seekers, and you still don't get hit by them. And it'll give you a chance to get away or use below radar or do whatever you need to do to turn the tables on them. The reason not to use extinguisher, or the reason I don't use extinguisher, is because in air superiority, you want to go for the complete kill on a jet. You don't just want to go for a disable, because if you do, they could either have extinguisher and then get on your tail, or most likely your team is going to jack the kill. And in air superiority, like, there's so many jets flying around that you're almost guaranteed to have someone else get the kill if you only go for the disable. So for that reason, a lot of people don't just go for the disable; they go for the whole kill. So if you get disabled and use extinguisher, then they're still probably going to be shooting at you because they want the kill. So they're still going to be shooting at you, and you're just going to get disabled again, which isn't going to turn out well. On these maps, for some reason they made the ceiling really low, which means that you can stall without being very high up. Like if you look at your altitude on these maps, you'll probably start stalling at around 600, upper 600s, which is pretty low compared to the other maps. I know Karg Island is around 800 or 900 when I start stalling, and so So first of all, I'll explain stalling in this game. You can't really stall by flying straight up slowly unless your landing gear comes out, which would be ridiculously slow. I don't know why you would be doing that, but no matter how fast you're going, if you keep going straight up, if you get to the ceiling of the map, then you'll start stalling. And I like what they did with Air Superiority, though, which is that it used to be in regular Conquest where if you flew too high, then you would start stalling, and no matter how hard you held the throttle down, you would still, like, the cruising speed of your jet would be enough to pretty much keep you in the same place. Like, it would fight gravity enough so you pretty much wouldn't move. But in Air Superiority now, um, you actually fall, so it's really not as hard to get out of a stall. Um, and what you want to do is, if you're stalling, then you want to slow down as much as you can until you get your nose pointed down, and then you want to hit the afterburners and go as fast as you can downward, and you'll get out of a stall pretty quickly. But for some reason, I don't know why they did it, but they made the ceilings really low on these maps, so you got to be careful. And sometimes you'll see like giant groups of planes all just not moving up in the air because they're all stalling and they're all chasing someone. And it's pretty funny. But the reason that happens is because in Air Superiority, a lot of the time jets will get into, like, I call them trains. You can call them whatever you want, but it's just like a line of either like a ton of one team's jets chasing one guy on the other team, or just like a rotation of uh, red guy sees blue guy, starts chasing him, and then someone gets behind the red guy, and then someone gets behind the guy that's chasing that guy, and then they all just get into a huge line. Um, and a lot of the time jets end up crashing into each other, which happens a lot in Air Superiority, by the way. Like, you just crash into jets all the time. And I would say the best way to avoid that is to just not get involved in those trains, because those things are just death machines for your plane. You'll just crash into people all the time if you get in those. So if you see one, then I wouldn't jump in. I would go look for another enemy that's not so heavily wanted by your team. Um, and then that's pretty much it. Last thing I want to say is, in Air Superiority, I do prefer the Super Hornet over the Flanker, just because it's more agile and maneuverable. And I'm not sure, the Flanker just, it feels slower, and it feels like it can't spin as well. And also, the Flankers, for me, at least for me, they're really fun targets. I don't know why. Their wings are just fatter and they're fun to shoot. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this Jet Tips video. I'll probably have a more specific one coming out pretty soon, and I'll get into the kind of finer details of Air Superiority. But thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. We're getting close to 50 subscribers. We got a little surprise for you when that happens. Thanks, guys. Peace.